let's talk about space. This is um, supposed to be our reality, and I grew up just like everyone else, and believing in because I was taught that we live on planet Earth, and planet Earth is a tiny little speck floating in space relative to what's out there in space and the vast, incomprehensible distances between stars and planets, and just goes and goes. There might be an end, but nobody knows. And what we're coming to understand is that, okay, not only is the Earth flat, it's not a basketball. And I did a bunch of videos about that. This video isn't about that. I want to talk about space. So if Earth is flat, then what is above us is also not what we're told. And it's a crazy thing when you really understand that and realize that what is above you isn't what you've been told. When you look up at the night sky, you see stars, and there appears to be a depth there. So you could imagine when you hear the story that it goes for billions of light years, and you can get that. But I remember when I was real little, I'd look up at stars and I just thought they looked like pinpricks in like a black sheet of some sort, or like a black covering at night. The sky's blue in the day, but at night it's black, and then the stars like little pinpricks. I'm not saying that's what it is, but it just looked that way to me. And then later on, I learned about what it was supposed to be, which is totally different. Like there's this depth there, but I want to show you that there isn't that, and it's not what we're told again. So if you want to believe in space, well, I'd like to see photographs of it. I mean, I believe in the underwater world. I've gone down there with a mask and snorkel. I've seen the fish, tropical fish in Hawaii, and I've seen videos like Jacques Cousteau used to go down there and videotape with underwater cameras, all the things that are down there. That's a real place. So space is a real place, and we've got like HD cameras, and we're really good at filming stuff, filming nature, filming the clouds, Earth from up there, and everything. Got satellites up there, so let's see how things look up there. But the weird thing is, if you search, for example, real photos, I searched photos of space, so that you get stuff like this. If you guys can't see, I got news for you. This is not a photograph. An artist made that. If you don't believe me, ask someone that knows. I know because I deal with art and I make images, and I know what's real and what's a photo. And if you researched further, I think if you read this article, you'd find out this was like an artist's rendition. They'll admit it. Okay, so that one's not real. Let's look for another one. But when you go through there, you see that they're all fake. Like they're all like artwork. Like, is that real? Is this not, here, like the moon. I've seen that with my P900 camera. You can zoom into the moon. By the way, how can you zoom in that close with a little camera that you buy at Best Buy? It's like right there. I can't zoom in that well on like buildings that are real far away. They don't come in as sharp as this. How is that possible? But anyway, so then to get more specific, I Googled just to show you real space photographs, so I don't miss anything. Not just photos of space, but like I'm putting like real space photographs. In other words, don't show me art on this search. I just want the real stuff. And then again, you're gonna get this. So this was like supposed to be a image that the Hubble telescope photographed. And again, it's like art. It's not real. This is like looks like a monster or something. And again, they will admit it. If you look closer, if you want to prove me wrong, you don't believe me, research this picture, and you'll find out that there was an artist that kind of, with some data he got, some little O's and X's and this and that, he said, well, this is probably how it looks. But they didn't just take a snapshot of that. That was made, and that's a story they give us, that he got the idea from something that looked like it could have been that. I don't know what he saw, but he didn't. Nobody saw this. So again, it's like created. So how come we don't have any pictures of space? I mean, why would I believe in the underwater world if there are no photos? That'd be weird. There's a place under the water, but we're only going to show you like artists' paintings of what's down there. And just believe that, because it's too hard to go down there and like take a real photo. That's what I'm trying to say. If Hubble telescope, I think I read it can see like 14 billion light years away. That's like way farther than like at least the closest star. Way out there. How come you can't like zoom into like this one star at least? Like, you can't see it one star zoomed in. They're always, no matter how far you photograph, they're always like further back. And then you see this kind of weird stuff. And there other stuff like that too. Like, oh, there's this one too. This one. And by the way, I bought a Hubble telescope book with like nice images. It was a nice book I bought from Barnes and Nobles because I was fascinated in it. And I was like, man, look at how amazing space is. And I'd look at those pictures. But these are the same pictures I saw like 20 years ago. What has it been doing all this time? These are the old stuff, man. This is like Iron Maiden, Megadeth stuff. Where's the new stuff, man? This was old. We should have like thousands of images all around. We should be zooming into stars, farther, closer, left, right, up, down, all around. Nothing, man. Just the same. There's one a little better color. Just the same like 20 pictures from Hubble. They're the same picture, just kind of like just colored a little different. I mean, that's just more proof to what I'm saying. This one, I remember this was in the book too I had. Ooh, the Andromeda Galaxy. It's just a computer, like, CGI picture that they slapped together. It looks like, this one looks like Guardians of the Galaxy. That movie with it was cool looking, with all the crazy colors, all the space it looks awesome, man. Place I want to go. But it's not real. And then I can prove it more. Let me see what's over here. That's the same one. This is like a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Like, this is just artwork that some guy made, and they tell you that's space. How come I can't see a real photograph of that place? Why is it so hard? If they have a Hubble telescope, they can zoom in 14 billion light years away, so it's not a problem. But then they give you this picture, but then they also say, "Oh, it's just too hard to photograph it. It's too far. Everything's too far." But we can do it, but we can't do it. Sounds like lies to me, man. That's how people lie. That's how they sound when they lie. And then, so here's a cool thing that I know about, like the pyramids in Egypt. These are the ones in Egypt. They were. Here's something I want to prove. Those pyramids, I guess if they were built, they say 5,000 years ago. So I'm not going to get into that time. People are starting to think and discover that maybe history isn't as far back as we know, but I don't know that stuff for sure, man. It just might be just more stories. But let's call it 5,000 years ago. And it was built according to the same pattern of the constellation Orion. They're like they were, each pyramid was built, even the size, like a small one on top, the medium size in the middle, and then the smaller again at the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Same, and then same in Mexico. And then what was weird, there's no ones in China too. What's that all about? I never knew there were pyramids in China. That's like a Mandela effect or something, man. I don't know what's going on. There are pyramids in China. I never knew about that growing up. But there they are. I don't know, man. But that's not my point. So my point is that the thing that we're told about space is that it's like it started from a big bang and it's expanding outwards. But if that's true, how come, if this was built 5,000 years ago, this Orion is in the exact same position now? Those stars in the constellation are the exact same position today as they were 5,000 years ago. Where's the expansion of the universe? Where's the movement? And they say, oh, but it's too far, and this universe is so big you can't notice it. I debated one guy, and that's what he said. He kind of sounded like that. And so no matter what you tell some people, they always have like that. There's always an answer for everything that you bring up. They have like the answer for it, you know. And then they pump it right back to you. But if you use your common sense, look, how big is the star? I can see it. I can look up in the night sky and see Orion. You know, the stars are like, they're like that big. They come in like 3 sizes. They're like, you can barely see them, and then medium, and then large, like 1, 2, 3 sizes. There should be like all kinds of different sizes, but anyway. So these are bigger than what we see. I mean, they're a little bit zoomed in, but I can look up and I can see those stars. So how far is it? If I can see it, I mean, it might be super far, but they're super big, so I can see it. But still, there should be, it's not that far that I can't even see it, like so huge and so far. So there's just so much distance that even in 5,000 years there wouldn't be notice any motion. But you can't say that because I'm looking right at this stuff with my naked eye. And here's to show, really to understand what they say is happening. And then you realize, if that is what's happening, things need to move. They can't, constellations can't just be frozen for 5,000 years, but no, it's just everything's expanding, but it just, there's not enough time for us to see. 5,000 years isn't enough time to see even one hair move of anything. Well, listen to what this guy says. He's going to explain the way the universe moves.
We are headed, riding along in the Milky Way, in the direction that the constellations of Leo and Virgo are to us, at a speed of 2.1 million kilometers per hour, towards a thing we don't fully understand yet, simply called the Great Attractor. This is how you, on Earth's surface, are moving through the universe aboard Spaceship Earth. Okay, now, stop. This is roughly 100 years of Earth's movement through space. This path we've traced, from where we began here, is the path you will take through the universe in your lifetime. You didn't buy a ticket for this ride. Your parents signed you up without asking. But nonetheless, it is quite literally the ride of your life.
Alright, I want to go back a little. So that, he's saying, in 100 years, at the speed we're told it's traveling, in your lifetime, the sun traveled from here to here. I'd noticed that. If it's, you know, like, you can see it, if it's like big enough from here to here, if it's the, you know, it's thick as this line. I mean, I don't know if he'd argue that, but that no matter what size the sun is within this line, if I can see it, why is it fogging up like that? Oh man, let me fix this. Yeah, moved it. Getting all foggy on me, man. Here. Anyway, I lost it. Oh, there. Okay. That's only 100 years. How long would that be in 5,000 years? I mean, you can add that up. I can't even comprehend that right now. If that's however long that is, times 10 for 100 years, times 10 to 1,000, and then that distance times 5 more. Like way longer than that. You're telling me this wouldn't change at all? You know, if the Earth, sun's moving this way, who knows? Everything's moving like outward, all different directions. So the sun moved that much in 100 years in your lifetime, but in 5,000 years, no movement. You know, that doesn't work. So that's a lie. And another funny thing, speaking of lying, this guy, like Vsauce, he's got he has 14 million. Well, the views are 14 million views. The subscribers, I can never find where it is. It's probably in the millions of subscribers. And thing is, like, this, who talks like this guy? He's an actor. It's not a real person, and his job is to just kind of keep everyone believing the lie. He knows this stuff is baloney, but he's sold out. He's sold out. He's a sellout, and you know, he doesn't care. I don't know, man. He's making money, but real people don't talk like that. You can just listen to him. He's like an actor.
For years is what the famous Julian calendar does.
Who do you know that talks like that?
BC by Julius Caesar, it was the de facto standardized Western calendar for a very long time.
Nobody talks like that anyway. They've got guys. This is like damage control. I don't know if these guys were around like 10 years ago. There's a lot of guys like that because they don't want too many people figuring this out. But at the same time, they're leaking the information too, because, like my wife says, they wouldn't let you see certain things on YouTube if they really want to keep it secret. Like, try to put a video of yourself running around butt naked on YouTube. It's gonna get deleted or blocked like quick. So if this was really top secret, how come they're letting us make flat earth videos, you know? So I don't know what's going on, man, but it is flat. Space is fake. This guy's like damage control, and maybe they're just sitting back laughing at us, you know? Just the thing that blows my mind is that I grew up watching Star Trek and Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica, all that stuff, man. Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, and space was a place that maybe one day humans would travel through there. Maybe not in my lifetime, but I felt that was definitely a possibility, that there's this realm above us and also all around us. I mean, we look up to the sky, but if we're in a ball, it's underneath and us as well, on both sides, and there's just this vast open space. You just go forever and ever, visit different planets and worlds, and there's probably life out there, aliens, you know, because anything's possible. There's just so many trillions of stars and planets, like you could find ET, all kinds of stuff, man, and all fake news. But what's up there is probably even better, man. You know, I believe we'll find out one day. Just don't be working for the devil. You go to local Orthodox Christian church and make sure the soul gets saved. Amen.